Alright, welcome back to another Ditto video. This is for Ditto 3.1. We're going to go over first some new features. So, installing it is the same. You would just uninstall it and then reinstall the new one. So, let's go ahead and get started. So, once you got Ditto open, go over here. Basically, most of it's the same. However, you'll notice in the add menu, this is no longer red and it has a down arrow because it's been turned into a layer preset. So let me explain this. D layers 10 and D layers 20, these are how many layers that will show up that you can use for the collection. So you got 10s and 20s. And this is for everything except booleans, because booleans, pretty much, we don't really need more than 10 layers for the most part. Like the booleans, you can like put the object where you want them to go and then just move them to the folder, and that you can bypass a lot of stuff when you do that, as long as you don't move them again. So that's how you can get away with live boolean with the boolean folders. But these are empty. The D layers 10, D layers 20, these are empty. You'll have to know what you're doing and then adjust the settings to match what you're trying to do. Now, if you don't know what you're doing, and this is like your first time just trying to get used to it, this one's made for booleans, so it's already set up. So like if you click here and go in here, it has everything set up on each layer already set up. I even named them add one, sub one, int one, intersect for this one. This is subtracting. So this will add things together in this layer all together. This will subtract from that one. This will intersect based on what is in here and what is the result of this one. And then reverse sub will reverse subtract from everything before it and this one. And it goes on and on and on. So all you got to do is basically, you can turn it off or you can change it yourself. It doesn't matter what the name is. You can change the name too. If you can even change, I think you can change the name from, I guess you can't change it from here, but you can change the name and it will update here from the geometry menus. But it all set up for booleans, so let me show you. So if I add a cube here, move a cube there, also for the booleans it has the last layer automatically blending, and that's because it's, you don't want it to like really blend when it's all of these. It slows down when you're blending each one and trying to calculate the blending and the cuts. But when you blend the very last one, you get really nice results. So it's really hard surface focus. Let me just click this one and increase the resolution because it's set to 2. Now, here, let's say we wanted to cut this one from this one. So you just move this to that folder. Move it here. Just need to turn it visible. Turn this one invisible too in here. You want to make sure all your objects are in wireframe. Then you can see it. So this is pretty much how it works. Well, let's move this one. So as you can see, we get very nice smooth results. And this is just like the simple one where it's like really smooth. So you might see some glitches until you get higher res. And the higher the res, the better it will perform. And you only want to adjust the res for the last one. And that's an easy way to be able to do this. So you just duplicate this. You can add to it. Duplicate this. You can subtract from here. And pretty much when you want better results, you just go in here and where is it? Yeah, the res. Higher the res, the better results you're going to get. And let's see. I'll show you a new option here. Here is the res reduction feature. So what this allows you to do is at the very bottom, you just move this up and it will reduce the res. So go all the way to the left. That's when you get to custom. In custom, you get the slider. And it goes all the way back to the original resolution 1. So as you're working, you can just lower this, move this around, perfect speed, then just go back here and then just increase the res. And you're like, okay, this looks pretty good. And then just decrease the res and then do it again. In the future, I'll probably have an automatic feature, but because automatic feature could cause things to crash, I figured putting a manual one in here first will work out better for you because having this adjustment is really nice. So that's a feature, and Boolean might get updated to be more ready to go because the resolution is pretty low. So I'll make an update for that. So let's go ahead, get rid of this, and show you this one. Ditto V1. These come with objects already in it to like show you what blending is going on. And if you don't see color, just click up here in the viewport shading material preview, and this will show you what's going on. So this is already set up, so you can just duplicate this if you wanted to scale it. When you scale it, it's going to lose resolution. It's designed to lose resolution when it's too small. But you can do all sorts of things here. You can scale it if you want, and it'll still work. And once again, it's set to a particular resolution to work very minimally, but maintain a very high quality and look. So that's already been set up for you, and let me show you. So this one has the res feature automatically on. Just put that all the way down and then bring that to 1. This is the res it's currently set to. And as you would guess it, like just like this, it's kind of slower, right? When it's at the highest res, yet this is still running really fast and pretty smooth for what you would normally get. It depends on your PC hardware, but as you're working, you can just lower it down to there. You already know what it's going to look like in the end. And look how fast that is. Way faster. So, yeah, just add stuff. You got it where you want it to be for the most part. And if you get confused, like just twist that, move it here. And you're like, I want to see what it's going to look like at the full res. Just slide that up. And it shouldn't mess up once it goes to 1. I'm not sure how it works on different PCs, but right now, as you can see, it runs really well, really smooth. Like no crashes. So auto feature may come in handy later. It will work pretty much like this. It will be using this and it will be adjusting it automatically as you move objects. And you'll be able to set it. So that's coming in the future, and a simple mode might be coming in the future too. But right now, everything's set up so you can get started really quickly without worrying about much. So besides that, V2 is basically the same thing but set up for this one. So this isn't set up for both, it's set up for one. So let me just get rid of this. Go up here, and we've added V2. Let's go ahead and add a 20. Show you the 21. It has 20 folders, 20 layers, and this one has different like methods it's using. So you're gonna notice it does have inner geometry, and it uses that for like location and like distancing. So this one does require some cleanup afterwards, and you can get pretty much the same results with the first one. The difference is this one uses a cage, so the closer it is together, the higher quality everything will be. However, the further everything is, the lower quality everything will be. So you want things touching in the cage one. So you can like lower this one, and you notice it has higher quality than it does in the first one. And it has even more higher quality when it's touching. So that's where the advantage comes with this one. Everything that's close and touching each other has higher quality than you would normally get. So likewise, the res feature, you can adjust the res. This one seems to be a bit slower until we get there. It's like it gets laggy in the lower res, but you can adjust all the way to 1, however you want to work. So you can see what it's going to look like in the end, and then just adjust it down to where it's manageable. So like you can work at this speed while maintaining your full resolution in post. Also for this res feature, when it's set to 1, it's like automatically half, and you do res off, that's just going to hide everything. So you can literally just move these around, not seeing anything. And let me show you. For this, you probably want to turn on hard blend or something so you can visualize it. But yeah, you probably won't be using the off res very much. You can always just use this, and that like halves it, or it goes by 2. So this one's half, this one's custom, this one's like divided by 4, divided by 8, and it goes, I believe, up to 10. So 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. And I got a little symbol on the left to show you like how much it's being divided. Stars for custom. So that should be pretty easy to understand. It's probably one of the best features, and this one you can use a slider. So as long as you got it pretty accurate, I got all the settings set up, so you can adjust that to your liking too if you want. And if you have any problems, just let me know, and I'll make adjustments and fix it. Let's see. Besides that, there's one more thing I added, a fix. Let's go. It's in the color. So go here. If we use previous color, that selects the previous layer. So on 2, it'll be selecting color from all the objects on 1 based on the color parameters. What I messed up on was adding the pre-layer color style, and this is a blending. So it's like 100%, 50%, and then like 0. So that's how much it like blends the colors. And this will blur it and this will adjust the amount of blur. So that's there to help you out with that. And if you're wondering what this is if EX blending is on. As you can see, it got lighter there. It's using the EX blending and like blending with it. So if you don't want that on and you want it to stay blue in these areas, like the in-betweens, just leave it off. If you want it to have more purple in between, turn it on. This is invert. So whatever you have here will swap if this is on. And this uses only one color. So if you don't want to use two colors, just click here and only use one color. You never know. You might just want one layer for one color. And this is, of course, the material swap. This is glass, and you're going to see all the inner geometry when glass is on. Like, they have their advantages why they're both being used. But yeah, if you like a different material to look at, you can just slide here and find one you like to work on, kind of like that one. And then you can always blur it more or less. Less makes it a lot harder. There's tons of settings here. This is like style. I turn it up to the max, so you can just lower this down. It will get rid of some light color along the edges. And this is custom if you wanted to just add a custom material. So, besides that, the last thing I did was for Boolean. So under Ditto union, this is like joining objects together. It won't show any Boolean results because it doesn't affect this one. So just move it to 1. Then the Boolean results will show up. Also added some text to some of the wordings so you know what it is. Exact. This is what it is. It's like hover over it. Well, it's not showing it, but this is fast and exact. So this is low quality when it's like pixelated, and when it's smooth with anti-aliasing, it's exact. So when it's on, it's exact. Like this, when you turn this on, it's a hold tolerant, self-intersects being used. It's very slow, but it gives you better results sometimes. So just test those out when you're using Booleans. And if you want to turn it off, just click there and add a clip here so you know if it's clipping. This one has it. So clipping is mainly for metaballs. As you can see, it made the middle one disappear because it has very certain adjustments made for metaballs, basically. So I wouldn't use that for anything. In fact, if you're not using metaballs, I would recommend not using pre-mirror at all. Instead, just put a mirror on your objects and mirror them across and use the mirror modifier on the object, and it does the same thing. If it's mirroring before it enters into the reading, it's going to be working better than this one. But metaballs don't do that, so this is for metaballs, and that makes it way better for metaballs. And I turned this on too for the mirroring. So if you go all the way down to the mirror, if you want to turn it off, just click there, turn on bisect, or flip it across on the other side. This one will like fix all the middle issues going on. So if you want to use that, make sure you use that. But that's on too, in case you need it. And it got all, well, simple settings. If you want more settings, just go to the modifier and then adjust it from there. Just a quick access so you can do stuff. Anything you select here will automatically adjust and change here, so you can literally just leave it open. All of these start out the same, so they all have the same settings, so you can just add things in different folders and you're pretty much good to go. So here you have metaball set up, so I have it set up for mirroring and all that for the metaballs. And let me just show you that real quick, because if you like select metaball 10, it starts you off with some metaballs. So as you can see, I can like cut through this, and it's somewhat reading things properly and some improperly. Basically just click exact here and it will read this properly. So choose this -1. Now it's reading very properly and accurately. And that's mainly for the middle. But for the most part, to speed it up, just don't use exact until you're ready to export the metaballs. And if you don't like the blending that's happening, that's extra blend. So just hold shift and move this to the left. Also, it may reduce some quality because you can retain a lot of shapes with extra blend. I can just set this to 1 and you're good to go. And then go to smoothing and then just adjust it to where it's like smooth enough. And just play around with it. You can also adjust the metaballs themselves. We go to viewer. You gotta select the metaball first. So there you go. Once you select the metaball, this will pop up. And we got some metaball settings. Turn it negative. You can hide it. You can change it from a ball to anything else. You can make it to where the resolution is half when you move it, so it will automatically reduce the res, and then when you click it will update the res. I'm going to try to add that feature to the whole Ditto layers. So that feature is already in metaballs, and fast is when everything just disappears and then it reappears. So half is always good, or until it slows down always is more accurate, so you get what you actually see. And besides that, yeah, you just need to play around and just scale these up, move around. You can see it already has like some holes in it, and the EX blend isn't too much. You can also increase the size of each metaball and the radius and the stiffness. So this is radius, I believe. Yep, this is stiffness. So stiffness controls like the distance blending. The radius controls the size. So you can play with those as you're using it, get different results. As you can see, we got like a hole in there, and then just update the res. So this one is threshold, and this is res. Well, this is res, you can see. So just update it a little bit because it slows down when it gets too high, and you can use Ditto to fix all these problems. So let's go to the smooth and just smooth it a little bit. Might want to add more res. Let's try this. Down a bit. Yeah, for these you might want to play around with them. And of course you can use the meta curve with this too. If you want a flat cut, it's always good to like duplicate this, scale it up, make into a cube, and then it will give a flat cut. So it's all about finding solutions. If it's not working, just make a cube and cut it, and that will solve that problem. And then just keep adjusting things until you get it to what you like. But yeah, those are pretty much the new features, and you can have it at high res and then just use the slider, or just use this to just cut it in half from the get-go. So yeah, way more options. So I hope you like this update, and I'm going to be updating the documentation and then changing it up so I can finish it faster, because making the pictures is taking too long. I'm probably going to make some GIFs though. And then I'm going to make a trailer. So I hope you're looking forward to that. And we'll be going over all this stuff in video format. And thank you for joining me. I hope you had a fun time watching this, and have a nice day. Bye.